This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian.
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
What's up? This is the Rebel Alvin Gray, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. And of course, your host, James J. And it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the Rebel, Alvin Gray.
Yo, what's happening?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm great.
Can you tell us where the Rebel is rebelling next event-wise?
Oh, let's see. July 4th, I will be at the American Legion in La Crosse, Wisconsin for River City Championship Wrestling's July Jubilee. This is going to be actually a pretty big, huge event for us, celebrating, our America's independence, despite our POTUS in the current office right now. But we want to give the crowd of La Crosse, like how we always do, a very big and exciting show like we always do. So that's where you can check me out.
Okay. And you said that's in Wisconsin?
Yes, that is.
All right. And you, where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
On social media, I'm pretty much all over Facebook and TikTok these days. The handles for that is basically Rebel AG610, as well as Pro Wrestling Tees. I also have pretty awesome merchandise on Pro Wrestling Tees that you can find. You won't find that particular merchandise on the road with me. However, I do have merchandise on sale as I go on the road. Nothing from Pro Wrestling Tees, but if you want specific shirts, they will be on Pro Wrestling Tees at prowrestlingtees.com/rebelAG610.
All right, perfect. And you don't have to go looking for it. All of the links to all his social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. All right, let's get into it. Earlier this year, you actually had your last match in Chicago. Could you kind of tell us what kind of brought that up?
What made Black Wrestlers Matter my last match in Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually a very good question to start us off with, actually. So I've had, I started out in Illinois. I trained in what was formerly known as Just Pro Wrestling and is currently known now as Wrestle League. It is owned by, formerly owned by Luis the Wrench Morales, which is now owned by the Shogun, Chris Logan, who is a very good friend of mine. When I was attending the school, this was before Shogun was ever, the head sensei there at the time. I wasn't in the right frame of mind. I was going through a lot. I was a troubled young man, and I was a bit problematic. I can admit that, and it kind of dampened my success, so to speak, when it came to wrestling in Illinois, and that was at my own fault. Some years down the road, of course, I found love. I got married. I have a child who's now 7 months old, a beautiful baby girl by the name of Solana.
Congratulations.
And thank you. I pretty much had reshaped my entire life once I moved away from Illinois. I've dropped alcohol, which was the big component to most of the problems I was causing at the time. And I've been nearly 4 years clean of alcohol, thank the Lord.
Congratulations again.
Thank you, thank you. And thankfully, by the grace of God and the spirits above, man, I'm able to still do this thing called wrestling, man, and to still be a part of it. It's amazing, you know. But when I got the call from John West to be a part of Black Wrestlers Matter in Illinois, I was happy, but at the same time, I was a bit down, you know. The reason being that I was happy to be a part of it, you know, it's Black Wrestlers Matter. Who doesn't want to be a part of Black Wrestlers Matter? It's a very important, you know, important show to our culture. So I'm always happy to be a part of it. However, you know, when I got the invitation, I kind of felt down because I'm like, man, I've been away for 5 years. Not one person called me, not even home. And, you know, I get it. You know, I understood where everybody, you know, was getting at. So I sat down with my wife, who was like very adamant about me not going back ever again. And I could understand her because, you know, like I said, most of the problems I caused back in Illinois, most of it was my fault. Others, not really so much. But I told her I needed this. I needed to get closure out of this, as well as be a part of something, you know, like I said, again, it's a part of the culture. So I felt like if I wasn't getting any phone calls anywhere for any opportunities to, you know, show that, you know, the stripes on this tiger had changed for the better, and, you know, I've gotten better performance-wise, and I've become, you know, a bit of a teacher here in this side of the city now, on this side of the Midwest, actually. And I was like, we'll just call it we'll just close the doors and just move on with our lives, you know. So I took it as a curtain call, my personal curtain call to home, and I ended it on the right note. I ended it on a very big scale show. I ended it with a very talented locker room on top of that. The locker room was very, very loaded with some very, very, very great athletes within that locker room. So, yeah, I'm proud of how I ended it, to be truthful. Nobody really has heard it come out of my mouth, but I'm proud I had ended it, and I'm proud that I've moved on with my life on that realm.
It sounded like it was something you kind of had to do rather than something you wanted to do.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah. You're right about that.
What was that last match like in Chicago? What was that moment for you?
To me, it was I felt like I was. It's kind of like how my character is. He's like a man trapped in his own little TV show with his multiple different versions of himself, spirits as he calls them. You know, like this was a side story that was once the main story that I had to close, and it was like I was going through my own little series finale with a chapter of my career, you know, and I was okay with it. That's what it kind of felt like.
I got you. You know, you did unpack a lot of things in your first answer, so I would like to definitely go back on. I do have some follow-ups on those. You know, you mentioned, you know, being somewhat problematic, you know, at the start of your career. What kind of caused you to see, you know, that there were some issues there? And what were those first steps like to correct that?
Again, a very good question. I think what made me realize that I was going down a dark and very bad path was when I made my last mistake. And it's tattooed on my wrist. To this very day, I look at it every day and I always say, be better than what you were that day. And I pray to God that I am always better than I was than that day on my arm. I consider that day that's on my arm the very last mistake I would ever make in my life. And the reason for that is because I made some very poor choices, even when I was away from the city. And it all caught up to me to the point where I thought I really screwed up and I was going to be put away for a very long time. And in that time, I sat down and I waited for my number to get called to get the hell out of there. And I got out of there out of Dodge. And that walk of shame, back home, I really thought about a lot. I thought about my future. I thought about the people that were with me when I, moved on from my time in Illinois. And I was really just I realized I was really screwing it up again. And I had to dial it back, not only for me, but for my wife. She's counting on me, always counting on me. So I got the proper help. I stopped drinking cold turkey because I knew that having that fuel what I had going on mentally, it was always going to come up as being explosive. So I stopped drinking cold turkey. I went to groups, I want to say about maybe 2, maybe 3 times out of the week. And I just started getting my health together. And I just started thinking a lot more clear. I started reading into, my old behaviors and started working on newer habits to get my work on my newer behavior. And so I want to say about maybe 4 years ago, that was when I realized I had to get it together. Otherwise, I was going to lose everything.
From a pro wrestling standpoint, in-ring work, what's the biggest difference between you now than at that time?
I'm more focused. I'm a lot more attentive to detail with my work. I know if I do something really small and I don't like it when I watch the playback, I try not to do it again in the next match. I am that hard on myself. I think everybody is, especially with this particular game that we are in. Everybody's their harshest critic. But yeah, I'm more hungry. I look back at my old photos and I'm like, man, I used to be something freaking great. I used to hold every bit of gold that I wanted. Now it's I'm fighting tooth and nail just to have gold on my hands, which I wouldn't want it any other way. It's hard. I love to hunt, but it's man, I really want to be Alvin 2 belts again, because it still feels like a fever pitch to be Alvin 2 belts once before. But to be that again, I'm working hard to get that again. And I wouldn't have it any other way right now.
And I mean, it's not you just, you're not just feeding yourself at this point. You mentioned you have a 7-month-old daughter. How has that changed your perspective on pro wrestling as of now?
A lot. especially with my wife, who, she's not really too big on me doing shows way out of the Midwest, which I can understand. She wants dad to still be closer to his daughter, which I totally understand, I totally get. Then there's my mom. Mom's always worried. I always tell the homies, if your mom ain't worried, it's something wrong, man. But my mom, she's been my biggest supporter next to my wife, and she's been more concerned about my health, as the years go by, and I hear, and I not only do I hear her when she tells me, I hear him, you know, mentally when I go to the gym and I'm stretching, and I just hear my mom in the background like, "How long do you think you're gonna keep doing this?" Like, so, you know, it's definitely changed a lot. It's also made me a lot more closer to the kids because, you know, the kids gravitate to Alvin Gray. You know, I always joke with the wife and say kids love Alvin Gray and Alvin Gray love kids, you know, the Trick Daddy voice. But I've gravitated a little bit more to the kids because, you know, of course, who you may never know. There may be a kid that wants to do this and they find inspiration through me or through another, you know, talent in this sport, you know, and it doesn't even matter if we're on TV or not. They find inspiration through something out of this, you know what I mean? And the kids are the future, truthfully. So why not be that guy to, you know, now that I'm on the right path, help them keep on the right path.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now you mentioned it, you know, Alvin 2 belts. You know, obviously it's a big moment to be trusted with 1 title. What did it mean to be trusted with 2?
Oh yeah. There's a lot of responsibility behind that. Even though one was sort of a gimmick, it's still a huge responsibility. A lot of people don't see. I'll be respectful when I say this. A lot of people don't see the prestige of holding a championship title how I see it, and I get it. Some people see it as a prop. Totally respect that stance. If that's how you see it, that's how you see it. But to me, I see it as the company is relying a lot of trust in you, not only to be marketable, to be good with the fans, to be good with your art as well, but they're putting a lot of trust in you holding their championship outside of it as well. So there to me, it's a lot to holding a championship, let alone 2.
Oh yeah. Now, can you tell us about your tag team partner in the Midnight Calvary, 2 Guns?
Oh, my big brother. My man 2 Guns. Oh, he's one of the first friends I made when I came out here. No joke. There's Cal Pro, of course. Big shout out to Cal Pro. There's formerly known as Ragnar the Ruthless. Shout out to him. My fault for not knowing your new name, brother. It's been a while, you know. But yeah, 2 Guns is literally like that's my big brother, man. That is my big brother. I love that dude to death. Every time I'm with that dude, I'm learning something new from him, and I'm hoping like that's the same vice versa with how it is for him with me, because I've had partners before, I've won championships with partners before, but this particular partnership was something. It's something special to me. It is something very special to me, and I hold it close to my heart. But yeah, we became friends when I first started working out there. He started getting a little bit of regular gigs out in River City Championship Wrestling. We just were chopping it up. We were always the first guys there, helping with, you know, helping getting ourselves together, getting the show together. We were the last people to leave, putting the ring, you know, in the truck. The guys seen that in the office, and they sat us down one day and was like, you know, we see how you guys, you know, kind of started this brotherhood within each other. How would you guys feel about becoming a tag team? And we immediately had no neglect to that at all. We completely just jumped right into it. So fast forward, we're talking over gear, we're talking over names, we're talking color schemes and everything, and like merchandise. And the second we got our gear together and we debuted as like an official team, it was off to the races. And the crowd, oh my God, I cannot appreciate the crowd so much for accepting what me and my big brother created within the Midnight Calvary. Like that team to me is something special and something I hold near and dear to my heart. Especially with tag team wrestling, that's one of my favorite aspects of wrestling, next to storytelling and next to certain given matches. I'll give it that. I'll say that. Yeah, Two Guns is the man. I miss him dearly. We're not working together right now. I'm working singles right now, but I really do miss him. Big shout out to him, man. Big shout out to him.
Winning the tag team championships with somebody you're so close to, is that a moment you take in the moment, or is it something that kind of sits in afterwards, like, wow, I did this, that happened?
That's something that sits in the second, like, the second you sit down and the second you like, you let the, how do you say it? You let the adrenaline die down. You know, you sit there and you let it sink in for a minute, and then you just, like, this particular win with him and I as a tag team when we won the championships at RCCW, it was something special because I never knew up until, I want to say, maybe a month, maybe a few weeks before we won the titles. He said he never won a championship. And this man is one hell of a worker. He'll never say no to working at all. And he's never afraid of hard work. And I was just astonished by that. And here I am, damn near 10 years. Well, now I am. 10 years now, I had goals left and right. I'm like, if I know anything about winning championships, I can help get this man some gold around his waist. So, if anything, he's inspired me to put a lot more effort into what we do as a team. You know, I've gotten a lot sharper with tag team wrestling. I studied a lot more tag team wrestling because of him. I've learned so much more with him about tag team wrestling, to the point where, like I said, it's one of my favorite things in this industry right now because of him. So yeah, it's something special when you win something as big as a championship goal with somebody so close.
Does it hit different than winning, a single championship, sharing the moment?
Sharing the moment, I feel like it's just as big as having your own moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you won the big one. Some people, they think that's expected of them. You know, guys like me, I'll be happy as hell when I make it, and I'm proud of myself. And it's the same thing that goes for like winning the tag team titles. Not only are you happy that you made it, you're happy that your homie made it. You're happy that, y'all took that journey together, step by step, to get there. So I think this is a pretty equal feeling.
Where did the name Midnight Calvary come from? Because it's definitely one of the more suiting to the ear tag team names that I've heard in quite some time.
The name came collectively to how we were as a unit with RCCW. We kind of got tired of a lot of the heel tag teams getting away with a lot of foolery. And we just started cleaning house and started, shaping things up, clean up the tag team division left and right. So we started, just decided on the name because we really came to we were the Calvary that came and, cleaned up house and changed some shit around with the tag team division that needed to be changed. So Midnight Calvary was an excellent and suitable name for two brothers like us.
Now, obviously it seemed like you're very close to Two Guns. That being said, what's a pet peeve about Two Guns that you just don't understand?
I don't think I have one. I've known him long enough, but I don't think I have one.
Okay.
I don't think I have one.
Well, keeping up on tag team pro wrestling, you had the honor of wrestling Uncle Bob, Brutal Bob Evans, and Tim Hughes. What was that experience like being in the ring with Bob?
Oh man, big shout out to Bob Evans and Tim Hughes. Those guys I owe a lot to in my career as well too. Just being on the road with them was great, but just to have the opportunity to be in the ring with them was even greater because that's where me learning about tag team wrestling started to come about. I was more so on the singles than I was in tag team before I got on the road with Bob and Tim that day. But when I got on the road with them, I started learning a little bit more about how tag team wrestling is supposed to be brought about, how it's supposed to be, not just about you, but about you being in sync with the other person you're in cahoots with in the other corner. So, it's an honor and a privilege. It's something I still think about to this very day because not just in the match that I wrestled with those guys in, it was just the experience and that entire weekend of shows. It was just a great experience. So I'm always grateful for moments like that.
You got a Brutal Bob story?
I got one. All right, so we made a stop to a gas station, right? I'm in the back seat. Tim's in the passenger. Bob went inside, right? Tim comes back he's chilling with me in the car. Bob comes back in the car. He's sitting down, he's talking with us. And he noticed a guy comes out of the fucking gas station with a Jaws t-shirt. And he called him Jaws like for 5 minutes. He didn't even know this man's name. But he called him Jaws for like five straight minutes. Just because of the shirt he was wearing. I shit you not, every time we made eye contact with that man in the shirt, he's like, "Hey, look, there's Jaws." And like, the homie he was a great time, man. He's a great person and a great laugh, man. It's a jokester. Tim too, man. Tim's also a great jokester.
Alright.
There goes Jaws.
Now, maybe not such a great time. Could you tell us about the bare bones match? For context, it's a no mat, it's just the boards.
Mm-hmm. You want to know about
the match?
About the match? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. It was me and Quinn Winnock. Bare bones match. Mom was in the crowd, and I believe that was my sister's. Yeah, that was my sister's last match that she seen me live before she passed on.
Sorry for your loss.
Oh, thank you. I remember telling myself, "You asked for one of the tough ones, and now you got it." And I was more so worried for my opponent because I already bullied myself into getting ready for something like this. And I kept telling myself, just keep him safe. You'll be safe. You know how to take care of yourself. Keep your opponent safe. The whole match, it was just every part of my spirit, man. It was just burning because I knew how high risk the match was, and I still took it. man, it's still, even though the outcome still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, I'm happy I did it with somebody like Quinn Whittick, especially with what he's doing with his career now, and I'm very proud of him. The match was just itself was an idea that a lot of people, including including the head honcho, thought it was crazy, but we brought it to life and we brought the violence out of it. We brought the best out of ourselves. It was just the way it ended shouldn't have ended the way it did.
I mean, how do you prepare going into a match like that? You know, considering, there's no mat. It's just wood you're going to be landing on.
You don't. The way I went about it, this may be a little dramatic to some folks. I really don't care. I prayed, and just told myself, take care of your guy. You know what to do to take care of you. Yeah, the pain's gonna be there. That's gonna be temporary. There's Tiger Balm for that shit. There's weed for that shit. You'll be all right. But, you don't really prepare for that. You just do what you can. Do it, at your best. And you take care of yourself and you take care of your dance partner. So you don't really prepare for that.
Now, how do you tell your mom that you're going to be in a match like this? Because we already established that she's very worried about you. So...
Oh man, I can remember my mom's face when I told her this, and yeah, she wasn't thrilled, but at the same time, she supports her son. She loves her son. And man, the Lord knows I love her, man, because she didn't have to be there that day. She really didn't have to be there that particular day. But I'm happy that she was. I'm pretty sure she didn't like seeing her son getting all banged up, bruised up, and putting his life on the line for the best of sports entertainment on the scale of indie wrestling. But if it's to get my name out there, it's just to tell one of the greatest stories that I made in Illinois, then so be it. So it's telling my mom something like that. It's it wasn't easy. Trust me, it was nowhere near easy. Nowhere near it.
Well, speaking of stories, I think it's time for Alvin's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads, and weird, crazy, and bizarre things are bound to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Damn, I got a couple. I can't pick one specifically. Okay, this was kind of at my expense. So I'm on the road with Triple D. I'm also on the road with Shogun's little brother, Nick Fury, and Fury Shane Foster. I'm sorry. And we're on the road to South or North Dakota. It's about a 12-hour trip. And Fury's at the wheel. And we got about an hour and a half worth of road left. My bladder is literally screaming. Like it's been in the rest hold for about 5 hours. And I'm like literally telling Nick, like, yo, we made the most of the trip here. I gotta go, bro. Otherwise, I'm gonna go on myself. He's like, man, you better hold it because we almost there and I'm not stopping. And that man stuck to his word. Shout out to Fury because he stuck to his word. I had no other choice, and I held on to dear life. By the time we got to the venue, I got out the car and I made like a bat out of hell straight to the bathroom. Didn't say hi to nobody. I just ran straight into the venue. Luckily, it was a hotel lobby. Ran straight through the hotel lobby, straight to the bathroom. It was the most relieving 3.5 minutes of my life. Yeah, when that man says he will not stop, he meant it. So you better have your snacks. You better have you better use the bathroom and all that, man. Call your loved ones, because that man does not stop for nobody, not even Alvin Gray. Let me tell you. Oh man, yeah, that's something at my expense. That's a good story to tell.
I don't know what's more impressive, that he drove 12 hours straight, or that you held your blood for 6 hours straight.
Oh man, and you know what's crazy? I should have known better than to have. What was I drinking around that time? I thought, yeah, Bang Energy was pretty popular around the time that we did that trip, and I thought pounding down a Bang Energy was such a bright idea. And now 33-year-old me is like, you dumb moron. Like, you like 10-year vet is just wanting to go back to like. I don't know how many years I was in around that time. I just want to go back in time and be like, you dumb moron. What were you thinking? Like, you could have sipped. You pounded the whole can before you got in the car. Come on. Like, yeah. Older me is kind of regretting that. But we still had a great time. It was a great show. A great experience for not only for me, but as well as Triple D around the time we did that show. We got to rub elbows with some people that that I'm wrestling with now, or that I haven't seen in a minute. But I learned a lot on that trip with them too. But yeah, that's yeah. I don't know which one is either more impressive either, bro.
Well, at least the lesson was learned. Don't
Yeah.
drive with him unless you've done what you needed to do beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. Handle all your business, including the ones in the bathroom, before you get in the car with that man.
Yes. Alright. Now, can you tell us about your love of anime?
Ooh, another good one. Oh man, it started when I was little, man. I don't know if you recall an anime called Big O. It was about a transporter kind of like figure. This was way before Jason Statham was the driver, but it was like an anime version of the driver, but with the car actually turning into a big ass robot. That's what started my love for anime. When I was a kid and I saw that, I was like, yo, that is awesome. Your ride just transforms into a freaking robot, and you're still taking people to and from, and they don't know nothing of the sort. Dope. Amazing. If I had the art in my house, I swear I would put it somewhere with the rest of my anime stuff. But I have not seen any Big O stuff. If anybody finds it, send it my way. I'll gladly put that in my house. But it transcended from Big O all the way to the Dragon Ball series. Big fan of the Dragon Ball series. Akira Toriyama, big shout out to him. God rest his soul. That man blessed us with some great stories, some great characters, iconic characters. I'm a big fan of his Cell Saga. I don't know what it is. The Frieza Saga was my first favorite, but then when I watched the Cell Saga, I said, yeah, nah, this the one right here. This the one. Don't nobody touch it. Don't even mess with it. The Tournament of Power, I want to say that's the third best one, just because of the fact they really show how Goku's brain activity is in that series, and I learned a lot about the character. I learned a lot about myself through some of the characters through that series too. You know a lot about yourself when you watch anime, because anime really does, really does touch on some real life shit, just like average, general hospitals, or your Sons of Anarchy, or your Game of Thrones,
Right.
of the sort. Let's see, what other animes am I into? I just tried to dive into Devil May Cry because I'm a big fan of the video games. I haven't really had the time these days since I've ventured into the new job, so I'm trying to find some balance into making some time for that. I've tried Naruto. I tried Boruto as well. It's hit or miss for me for that one.
Not your cup of tea.
Yeah. It's the same. I gotta be truthful. The same goes for One Piece, man. One Piece is hit or miss for me, man.
How far into One Piece did you get, though?
I got to season 3 and quit.
Season 3, so I'm assuming that's Alabasta?
Yep. Roughly, yeah. Roughly there. I just completely just said, no, I can't do it. I threw my hands up and it was like, nope.
Yeah, if you got to Alabasta and you were like, I'm good, then I get it. You lasted longer than most.
Yeah, usually people say like halfway through like season 2 or like halfway through season 1. And they're like, I'm like, yo, you didn't even let the story digest. Yo, you didn't even know the characters yet. For me, I was like, yeah, season 3. I was like, yeah, you know what? I get it. I can't do it. I can't do it. But yeah, I've tried Naruto, Boruto. Can't get into those. Can't get into One Piece. Death Note was exceptional. That actually inspired the Schmuck Hunter gimmick that I'm running right now a little bit. Minus people dying and shit. You don't die when you get written in the Schmuck list. I just hunt you down, and I don't stop hunting you down until I get my 1, 2, 3 about you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Death Note was dope. Let's see. Attack on Titan. I got into that for a little bit. I kind of fell off on that as well as Demon Slayer. I was really big on Demon Slayer. I felt like I cannot watch the film until I finish it, so I gotta finish that before I can watch the film. Yeah. Truthfully, as a true anime fan, that's how that works. Mm-hmm. My Hero Academia. Oh my goodness, that shit is so good. That's another one I gotta sit down and finish too.
How far are you into My Hero?
I cannot recall. That's the funny thing. So that's how I know it's been a minute that I haven't watched something like that. It's been a minute. Oh man, I'm so ashamed of myself, and I call myself an anime fan. But when you're a dad, you gotta make time for work. You gotta make time to make dinner. You gotta make time for chores. Make time for your baby. Make time for your wife. It's hard to make time for gaming and anime these days.
You're not wrong. Anime's a commitment, unfortunately.
Yeah, for real. I'm really big. I'm gonna make this really clear. I'm really big on the Tekken anime when done correctly. Now, when I say when done correctly, that means you follow the same plot as the game. Okay? Mm-hmm. Right? Because the animation within the game is just as easy as doing the adaptation for an anime, correct? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when we saw the real life adaptation of Tekken, I wanted my money back. I wanted my money back. That's a film I still to this day, next to the Dragon Ball real life adaptation, that we don't talk about. But when it comes to the anime, like the series that I saw on Netflix when they were talking about basically 2 leading into 3, that was good. And the original anime from the 90s, I want to say, that I still watch to this day nonstop. Great adaptations of Tekken as a whole, as a series. But the real life adaptation, it did not need to happen, and I still want my money back.
Whatever movie theater that was, You heard the man. Give him his money.
Nah, we ain't holding the theater accountable. They were just doing the job. The job of the theater is to play the movies. I'm hollering at the directors, producers, somebody owe me $20. All right. Me as a fan, I was mad disappointed. You let down Namco that day, whoever the director was for that film. You let down Namco, and you let down the Namco man.
Sounds like that's something you're very passionate about.
You're talking to a man that's played Tekken from the very first series. Yeah, I take that to heart.
I get it. I totally get
heart.
it.
Ooh.
I'm assuming you haven't watched Daima yet, right?
Daima, I have watched Daima, and I actually enjoyed it compared to what everybody else has said about Dragon Ball Daima. And let me say this about Dragon Ball Daima. That was the last bit of Akira Toriyama this world was blessed with. All right? And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually loved the last bit of the scene where the girl was actually helping Vegeta wave at everybody when they were leaving. Like, that was Akira giving us a little bit of him after he left. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. And they finally put some respect on Vegeta's name, letting him go to 3. So
I feel like Dree, he always was to Dree, but it was just something we just never talked about. It was just, he was, but we never got to see it.
Yeah. You might be right on that.
I'm not completely through the series yet. But from what I've seen so far, I've thoroughly enjoyed it as well. I mean, maybe it's just nostalgia factor because I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan as well. But yeah, seeing Goku on a new adventure, of course I want to see that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when he's being formed, he's being pushed to being a kid again. Like, you gotta think about it. The Dragon Ball series started when he was a kid.
Right.
Telling the story of how he crash landed on Earth and was sent there to destroy it, and just like the Superman effect, bonk on the head. Now he's, saving Earth. Not making, the best decisions, but he's saving Earth at the same time.
He only didn't make good decisions in Super. He was an exemplary Saiyan/human in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Super, he was just, he really showed his IQ.
He forgot his tractor.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
But it was definitely cool to hear Stephanie, the original Kid Goku voice actor, come back.
Oh, yes.
The nostalgia tinglies.
Yeah, definitely satisfied the nostalgia needs for sure. I am so glad to actually experience that series as a whole. And it was, like I said, it was just Akira's last little gift to the fans. And this fan enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. You mentioned video games as well. Tekken. You're also a Fortnite player. You stream on Twitch, no?
Not as of late. I should be, once I figure things out with life and have a schedule going on with myself and make better choices with myself. And yeah, I should be back to streaming on the regular, hopefully. The one thing I did stress to my mom, I was like, when I retire, I just want to game and stream and make money. That's I want to have a man cave. I want to stream. I want to occasionally have my daughter on to play video games with me. Sometimes my wife, you know what I'm saying? Maybe get my mom in on the fun and just, make some money, just doing what I love, what I originally loved before I found professional wrestling, which is gaming. So that's something I do want to get back on the regular again. I've actually, I took a small hiatus from gaming, but I actually just dove right back into it on the regular yesterday, actually. Spent about a few hours playing some GTA, playing some COD, and found out that Black Ops 7 is already dropping this summer. Like, come on, Treyarch. I'm trying to keep up, man. I'm trying to keep up. y'all hit me where it hurts, and that's my pockets. The battle passes, you know what I'm saying? The storage. I'm already trying to make a man out of my PlayStation 5. Like, come on, man. You gotta give your homie a break. But yeah, Tekken kind of took a little bit of a backseat, but I'm always, whenever I need that release therapy and I ain't got wrestling, Tekken is always there. As well as WWE 2K, of course. But the main two right now, of course, is GTA 5 because, I'm trying to get myself hyped up for 6 after, hearing about the pushback date. And COD is always changing. So you got to stay with the game. Otherwise, you trash. You might as well put the fries in the bag, homie.
I mean, I feel like it's a nice trade-off. I mean, Call of Duty comes out literally every year, and GTA doesn't come out until like every decade.
Yeah, it's an even trade. And now, like you said, every year with Call of Duty. Here's my thing now. It seems like it was every year. Now it seems like every 8 to 6 months a new game drop. Now, like, it's crazy.
And now the games are going up from 60 to 80, which not appreciated.
Yeah, all because people. It's like I tell the homies, man. Most of the time, all these little extra price they throwing in is just for you to pay to play. And it's crazy how these games in these micro purchases ain't even considered micro anymore. They're major purchases now. You got games out here that's like double the price of the original game. Like, it's crazy out here these days. That's why I'm glad I keep my micro purchases micro as much as I can when it comes to gaming. So I don't go too nuts and cuckoo over it. The skins be dope. I ain't gonna lie, skins be dope.
I mean, there's some skins that, you just feel like you just gotta have. But for the amount of, especially the Fortnite ones, the price for the skins is maybe not as much as it should be.
Oh yeah, that's what I tell people all the time. I'm very picky choosy about my skins on Fortnite. Real picky choosy.
Oh yeah.
Like, some of the skins on there that I have, I'm proud of. The other ones I earn, I'm just as proud because it's like, damn, these might be these might be some rare joints that I'm probably never gonna see again. And then you got there's like maybe 2 skins that on Fortnite I'm not the best, like the most proud of, that I won't even touch, I won't even bother with. But all the other skins I'm actually happy and proud of, and I have no regrets of all my purchases. Again, micro purchases, that is.
What are those 2 skins that you're not so proud of?
Oh, you want to take it there?
I mean, you brought it up.
Yeah, I did. I'm not big on the Slurp Bear, man. Not big on the Slurp Bear with the cat in the middle.
Okay.
Not big on that one. For one, I feel like that gives away your damn position, man. It's too big. It's too clunky. I feel like it gives away your position, especially in a game like Fortnite, where the objective is to, like, not only the hide but the hunt.
Right.
The other one is the holiday. It's a holiday joint too. It's like this big old yellow joint with the red sweater. That thing was just as bad as the Slurp Bear. I can't do those 2. Those were earned skins, by the way, but those are 2 skins I'm not too proud of.
No, I get it. And the Slurp Bear is like a neon blue color, so like there's no chance of you not being seen in it.
Exactly. It's either John Wick or the Slim Shady death of no, not the death of Slim Shady. I think it is the music to be murdered by Slim Shady fit John Wick, or the what's another one? I usually roll around with Deadpool a lot. I love the Deadpool skin. That is like my personal favorite. I'm a big fan of Deadpool.
Oh yeah.
But skins like that, they kind of blend in.
Right. It's gonna be harder to see you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the same way. All right. Now you mentioned the tattoo on your wrist. Is there any other tattoos that you have that have significant meaning to you?
Oh, yes. On my right shoulder, at the very top, there's my grandfather's name, Alvin, which is where I got my ring name from. That was the first fan that believed in me, and truthfully, will never go away. And I actually, I'm looking at it right now, and I should get it touched up because it's starting to fade, and I'm not liking it. Another tattoo that I have is, I have Bray Wyatt's symbol on my left shoulder, which also has Bart Simpson listening to music next to his sister Lisa, who also has a pair of headphones on listening to music. That one's very significant to me because my sister and I, we kind of had that Barton and Lisa dynamic where, yeah, we bicker, but at times where it was important, we knew we'd come together as a unit, and we were tougher together. We were tougher to deal with together than we were separate. But we always came together when it came to weed and music, man. And not having her around, it kind of sucks. Music ain't hitting the same no more without my sister, enjoying it with me. But I know when I'm on the road, there'll be some tracks that play. I always play my Spotify on shuffle, but if there's a track that plays that me and her would always like go back and forth, going word for word with, I always think that's her telling me like, I'm here, I'm with you. So those two in particular, as well as the Bray Wyatt one. Bray taught me a lot when he was here. And I don't mean on a personal level. I never met Bray a day in my life. But I was in a real bad place. And during COVID, Bray taught me something about myself through his work. And he helped me bring out another side of myself through my work. And I felt like that was one of the most personal things next to, Roddy inspired me or Stone Cold inspired me. So when he died, it took it took a lot out of me because, my creativity took a whole, few shots of a level thanks to Bray Wyatt. And I had to get that. I had to get the art on me. Just to show love and show appreciation to that man's creativity, and to not only that, his in-ring ability was incredible, and he was always entertaining. He always kept me entertained. He always kept me glued to the screen. I still dance like him, I still dance like him when I listen to Pursuit of Happiness by Kid Cudi. It puts me in a very good mood, and I just dance like Bray with the lights off, and it just puts me in a good mood, man, whenever I need it. So yeah, Bray's a very big reason why Alvin Gray is what he is today, and that's a very important piece of art to me. I'm going to get some something very special pretty soon concerning my daughter. I'm going to make sure it's nice and big and bold, so when she sees it, she can see her name right there, and she's like, that's my name. Like, I know, it's there for a reason. Inspiration. I want all my tattoos to tell a significant story, have a significant meaning. My whole right arm is just pretty much nothing but nostalgia, stuff that brings me back home, brings me back to feeling like a kid, puts me in my happy place. Everything on my left is, not my left. Everything on my left is nostalgic. Everything on my right is pretty much significant dates, important people, some tribal art, just to fill in some spaces and some gaps. But I just want every bit of art that I put on my body to tell my story.
Sounds like you have everything organized.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You got to. It's permanent. You have to.
I gotcha. All right. Well, that's a great segue into the colossal question. Let's say they're making a movie about you. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on your movie soundtrack?
That is hard. My character's based off of music. Oh, based off of music and entertainment. That's tough. And I've always thought about that too. Don't get me wrong. I've always thought about, if I wrote an autobiography about my life, which I am working on still, I always thought about if it get turned into a movie, if I had a soundtrack, how would I do with it? Man. All right, if you said 4 songs, right?
3, but you said 4, so I'll allow 4.
3? Okay, all right. I'll do
4
3.
if you'd like.
I gotta have Parables. That's a track by Corday featuring Eminem. That has to be on there. That has to be on there, no matter what. That song literally tells my story of how I went from a man that went from nothing to a man that has something now to live for, and was willing to fight for it, to keep it, and do anything to keep it. So that's a track that has to be on there. Let's see, the second track. Oh man, this is not easy. I gotta say, 2 Player by Migos, featuring 2 Chainz. Me and my sister, man, word for word. If there's a point in my life in the movie where it talks about how close me and my sister are, that song has to be in there. My sister we used to, if we ever have an opportunity in the upstairs to do a concert and to just do karaoke, me and my sister would do that. Hands down. So that has to be on there significantly for that reason. The third one, I would have to say, baby, what was the name of that song that my little taxi partner would make fun of us about? Wait, what? What was that song that my little taxi partner would make fun of us with? Oh, ain't nobody. Yeah, that one. Yeah, that tells the story of me and my wife right there. So that's the big 3. That's the big 3. The one that tells my life story, which is Parables, which is Eminem, Corday featuring Eminem. The one that tells a little something about me and my sister, about our togetherness, our bond. 2 Player by Migos featuring 2 Chainz, and yeah, the last. I gotta figure out the name of that. I know Shaka Khan was the writer of that joint. I just gotta find the proper title of it.
I think it's Ain't Nobody.
It's Ain't Nobody. That's. Yeah, it's gotta be. But yeah, those 3 songs are very important and very significant to my life. So those would have to be the big 3.
All right. Well, definitely a solid 3 picks to say the least.
Appreciate it.
Now that we have the soundtrack down, everybody knows you get the soundtrack first, then you write the script, and then you go to casting. Who plays yourself, and you can't say you because you are legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Damn. All right, that's fair. You gave me a reason why I can't save myself, so I appreciate you doing that. That's a good curveball there. Damn. Now, see, here's the problem. I would say Eddie Murphy, but here's the problem. Eddie Murphy is a little new to me.
Well, listen, we have CGI and an unlimited budget. We could make Eddie Murphy look younger.
We can make it, okay. All right. Okay. I would say Eddie Murphy. if he's willing to, take some body slams, take some suplexes here and there.
I probably want a stunt double, but he could do the acting part.
My man would not take a body slam at his age. I get Eddie Murphy a lot, and I think he would make the perfect casting call for that. If not that, he would probably make a great version of my dad, if possible. If not him, shit, this is tough. What other bald black able body? Tyrese Gibson? If he's available, I wouldn't be mad at Tyrese Gibson playing me. That man can act.
Okay.
I'm not to sing. I don't really sing in none of my matches or anything. I'm not to sing. But I'm pretty sure Tyrese Gibson would knock that shit right out of the park. Him and Eddie Murphy. Those would be my 2 picks.
Okay. Now, every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people significant to you in your story that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Hey, don't do me wrong.
I can't even say yours. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna even do that. I can't even say mine. Let's see. Let's see. My mother, there's an actress on Grey's Anatomy that reminds me so much of my mother. She would play that role to a T. Baby, you want to look up that actress's name, please?
Miranda Bailey, that's her.
Yes. On the show, she's known as Miranda Bailey. She reminds me so much of my mother. Her mannerisms on the show and everything reminds me so much of my mother. I will not take nobody else but her to play my mother in the film. Let's see. I need somebody good to play Al, man.
The character, the actress's name is Chandra Wilson.
There it is. Miss Chandra. Yeah, Miss Wilson. Yes, she would play my mother easily. She wouldn't even have to have those sit downs to get to know my mother. That I would tell you got it. You wouldn't even have to sit down with mom. I would love for you to sit down with my mother, but you wouldn't even gotta adapt. You got it. I would have to say, ooh, man. This is tough. It's a really good question. You got a lot of good questions this one, man. This is one of the best interviews I've had with the good ones, with the good questions.
I appreciate that. We like to keep our guests on their toes.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's see. If we can't get Eddie Murphy to play me, like I said, I'd be cool with Tyrese Gibson playing me, and we can have Eddie Murphy play my father.
Okay.
All right. So we got mom, we got dad. I gotta have my sister Cassidy as well. Oh boy. I gotta do you right, sis. Ooh, you gonna strangle the crap out of me if I don't get you right either. She probably gonna haunt me in my sleep if I don't get her right. Man. There was an actress. Damn. You know what? We won't do Al. We won't do my sister. We won't cast them. Let's cast my wife.
This might actually be harder, because there's definitely a right answer, and you don't want to get it wrong.
You don't want the wrong. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. You know what? I'm trying to sleep next to my wife tonight, not in a separate room with the wife. So yeah, ooh.
We could leave it up to casting.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to casting for that one.
Yes.
James Avery would have to play Al.
Okay.
My grandfather. I said I wasn't gonna cast nobody for Al, but I'm gonna go back on that one and say James Avery would kill. He would kill being Al.
All right.
And I'd say that would be a great movie.
I agree. A blockbuster to say the least.
Oh yeah.
And you could pre-order the tickets now. Now, onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Man, no. That's a crime. It's a crime. It's a crime. I tried it. It's a crime. I know a lot of people always say, oh, you never tried it. He's saying this. No, I tried it. It's a crime. It's a crime. Do not do that to yourself. For all the homies out there, big or little, do not do that to yourself. Do not put pineapple for what y'all love. If y'all really love yourself, bro, really love yourself, do not do that to yourself. Pineapples do not go on pizza, man. I'm putting my foot down.
Okay. So very anti-pineapple on pizza.
Big time nope. I'm big on that too. That goes double for anchovies too. Because who in the hell thought that was a great idea?
Yeah, definitely agree with that one. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Gengar, hands down. I love Gengar. There was an episode that I watched as a kid that taught me a lot about myself to be okay with being alone. You know, there was the episode where Gengar's trainer couldn't take being around him no more, so he moved and then saying he made Gengar stay in the crib, telling him he'll be back. He never came back. I fell for him. I was like, man, if I was there, I'd put him in my Pokeball. He'd be my homie. So, Gengar, hands down. He taught me a lot. Like I say, anime teach you something a little bit about yourself if you watch it closely enough.
Yes. Now, we love the late, great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
Say that again?
Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
Thug, the acronym? No, I do not.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, 'cause a dog can't spell. Yes, we love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show, trying to keep the memory alive.
Oh, man. Big shout out to Tracy Smothers. Keep wrestling, big guy.
Yes. Weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview, hopefully. Would you ever consider wrestling a Rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual physical Rock.
I'm sorry. So not Dwayne The Rock.
No.
A physical rock, a boulder, and okay. As a wise man once told me, money talks, bullshit walks. For the right dollar amount, Alvin Gray will smack a schmuck known as a rock. I have a child, damn it. I got a family to take care of. fight anybody at this damn point.
Well, just for context, there is a wrestler named Psycho Mike that indeed wrestled a Rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match. That's an on-man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
Yo,
Yes.
stuff I learn every day in this world still astounds me.
On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Somebody's champion. If not somebody's champion, hopefully somewhere with an opportunity. Just one shot. I don't want it to even be long, man. I just want an opportunity to be on screen so my daughter to see me and be like, that's my dad, and be proud of that, you know?
I got you.
So that's something I'm trying to strive for within the next 5 years, is to at least get on TV, even if it's me being security getting thrown around by Rhea Ripley or something. I don't know. I just want to do something with my career that my daughter could be proud of, and my wife could be proud of as well. So that's where I see myself, either on TV getting a big moment, or with a championship in my hand with my daughter remembering that moment.
Okay. And what is one of your matches that you would recommend that best shows off what you are all about as a pro wrestler?
Again with the tough ones, man. That's man, my catalog been good lately. Damn. One off the bat, my most recent match with Perfection, that match was everything, man. I still say to this day, that match was everything that I needed. And I believe it was the same for Perfection as well. And we gave each other everything we got that night. So I think that was still on YouTube as well. There's some clips here and there on TikTok, but it's still on YouTube in its entirety. That's one of the matches where you get to know Alvin Gray in its entirety. Smash Mouth, in your face, that kind of joint, man. You'll get a little bit of everything out of Alvin Gray in that particular match.
Perfect. And you said it was on YouTube, correct?
That is correct.
Alright. If it is indeed on YouTube, I will grab the link and I will put the link in the description of the video below, both on YouTube and Castbox, for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it, wants to re-see it after this interview. And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom. This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Roddy Piper.
Worst wrestler.
Shit. Oh. Fuck me, man. You know what? Alex Wright, because of that dance. That dance gets on my goddamn nerves. I'm sorry. He's probably good, but he's worse with that damn dance.
Okay. Your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
My dream opponent would be Kevin Owens. would really love to go up one-on-one with that guy. He brought Stone Cold out of retirement. I feel like I could be the guy to bring him out of retirement one day.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Man, there's some bangers. Oh, man, there's some bangers out here. You got Ministry Taker back in the day. You had Austin's Hell Yeah with Method Man back then. Damn, it's a lot of good ones. Oh, if I had to go with one. Now, you know what? Roman's Head of the Table, the original Head of the Table joint, that was dope. That made you feel like you were literally in a Tekken fight with Roman. And he was a DLC in Tekken. I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Namco, I'm making you money here if you're watching. You also need to get your boy involved. I'm just saying, but I'd say Roman's Head of the Table. That'd be dope to come out to.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Still alive.
We would have also accepted tastes great on toast.
Wait, kayfabe what?
It tastes great on toast.
Yo.
Squash. Vegetable or fruit?
That's a vegetable. Let's be real.
I feel like you know what I'm talking about, but you're still going with vegetable. Well, technically it is a fruit. It has seeds, so tomato logic.
Fair enough, but it still has that vegetable like taste to it. So.
True. Well, you are a part of Squash Squad now, and that means a hell of a lot more. New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
Oh man. Alright. I'll say it like this, man. You gotta cover your cheeks. Alright? You gotta cover your cheeks. Alright? You gotta get it at least under the crease. At least somewhere under and past the crease of your ass. Alright? Don't nobody wanna see. I don't wanna walk around catering and see your cheeks, bro. I respect the fact that you got the moxie, you got the scones to do what you do in trunks. I respect it. It's not me though. It's not me. And you know, I do my thing in my tights. You dig what I'm saying? But some of the guys out there, I ain't gonna name names. Cheeks be out, bro. I don't want to see that, bro. My wife already got a bad imagination of how locker rooms is, and I gotta hear that shit. Alright? I don't want to see that, man. Just cover it. Just at least go past the crease where the butt starts to form, bro. That's all I'm asking, man. You can have whatever you want on the damn things too. By the way, just make it appropriate because there's children here. But just understand, I'm a man. I don't want to see your cheeks. All right, you dig what I'm saying? I get what you're doing with the ladies, but I gotta see that too. If you don't want me to see it, wear some jogging pants. What y'all love Zubaz so much? Wear the Zubaz, man. Wear some jogging pants. You dig what I'm saying? I know you're cold. I know your Johnsons get cold. I know your legs get cold. Wear some Zubaz or something. And then when your number's called, then you be like, all right, time to get out the Zubaz and your cheeks will be out there. But just cover your cheeks, please. Again, wife with wild imagination of how we are in the locker room. Don't need that. Don't need that.
I did not expect this to be such a hot button topic.
A hot take. I'm sorry it became a hot take. That was my hot take. I'm sticking to it.
I completely get it. I don't think it's a hot take. I just think it's definitely a hot button topic. Alright, and the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No, I have not.
And that's the correct answer.
I have not. I have not.
That will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this with me.
No problem, man. Thank you again for having me.
Absolutely. Once again, where can we find you on social media and merchandise?
Again, all of my t-shirts are still available on Pro Wrestling Tees. That's prowrestlingtees.com/RebelAG610. I'm also under the name under the handle RebelAG610 on TikTok, as well as Instagram, as well as Facebook is where you should find my fan page, which is Alvin Gray, or the Rebel Alvin Gray. Let's see. And yes, be sure to check me out if you're in the area in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Be sure to check me out July 4th at the American Legion post number 52 for the July Jubilee event. I should be there. Or you should be squared if you ain't there. But you ain't gonna be squared because you're gonna be there if you're in the neighborhood. You dig?
What you're saying is, don't be a schmuck. Come see you.
Yep, don't be a schmuck. Come see me.
And you don't have to type it into your Google machines. All of the links to all his social media and merchandise will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Simply click the link. A new tab will appear on whatever device you are on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesShane993. Alright, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay? So, for our very special guest Alvin Gray, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.